Hello, beautiful souls, it's Kerry. Happy Talk Like a Pirate Day today, 19th of September. I'm doing a forecast today on the new moon in Virgo. This is the second new moon we've had in Virgo in the last 28 days. This happens occasionally. The last one was at the first degree of Virgo, and this one is at the final degree of Virgo. So we'll call that the 30th degree of Virgo. So this is another opportunity to refine what it is that you want to plant the seeds of for your future moving forward. The Sabian symbol associated with this degree is a rock formation and a young child imagining a vision or a carving into that rock. So we might think of something like the presidents that are formed into the rock in America, and this idea of greatness and becoming someone. So it's about who do you want to become, not to emanate somebody else, but to think about who it is that you want to be moving forward in your life and where you want to get yourself to. This is the opportunity to plant the seeds for that. So if you think about what your dreams were when you were a little child or a young person, about where you might end up in your life. I think a lot of people probably thought that they would be celebrities or be firemen or policemen. They were kind of fairly standard things children would say and when asked what it is that they would be. And I remember when I was about the age of 10 or 11, I had this idea that I'd like to be a person who wrote quotes in books, because I noticed that people got quoted and they would have a little saying, and it was, I guess, a little bit like a short poem, and it was something that people thought distilled or summarized an idea perfectly, which is a very Virgo trait, and so it was worth encapsulating something. It encapsulated something that succinctly, which is another Virgo trait, to be able to share an idea in a way that was efficient. So I thought it would be great to be able to write quotes in books. I thought it was just somebody who was good with words, like a poet or a wordsmith, who constructed these quotes. But as I got older, I realised that it was actually famous people who had said things, like, for example, Winston Churchill, who said, we'll fight them on the beaches, we will not surrender, things like that. It's not necessarily the one that I was after, but it is, yes, a quote is kind of like a mini poem, I guess. And one of the things that I decided to do in my later years in life was to practice poetry, and so I put a lot of time and energy into that. And then I discovered that I had a passion for astrology when I was in my mid-30s. And in a sense, astrology saved my life, because it was a little bit like a map out of the darkness of my life. I was very confused about who I was and what I was here for. I had still had a bit of idealism left in my little self when I was thinking about being a person who wrote quotes in books. And then went on a fairly challenging journey for about the next 20 years. So we all have our challenges, and they are what lead us to evolve into the person that we eventually become. And that's a good thing. So not to have a pity party, never have a pity party, always see what the lesson is, see what the gift was in the experience that you had. Even challenging experiences can bring a gift. So having a look at the chart here, we see this beautiful grand trine. This is flow. So this is grand trine between the planet Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, the planet Uranus in the sign of Gemini, and the planet Mercury in the sign of Libra. And right next to Libra is Virgo. And because this sun and moon are in the final degree of Virgo at the 30th degree, they also fall into that trine, even though it's called a disassociated trine because it's not in the same sign, but it picks up the energy of it. So if there is something that you want to plant seeds for, who am I? Who do I want to be going forward? What is my ideal? Where is the vision? What is the vision I have for myself moving forward? Now is an ideal time to do that. This moon will be at the new position on the 22nd of September at 5:35 a.m. Adelaide time. It'll be on the 21st of September in the UK, and you'll need to adjust it to wherever you are in the world. I could give all the timelines, but people would turn off because that would be rather boring. Most people are interested in how it applies to them. So here we have the opposition. So we have the sun and the moon. They're always together at a new moon. In this new moon, Mercury happens to be sitting there as well. And also we have the south node, which is fairly close to the sun and the moon. It is about the south node is about the past. It's about what we're leaving behind. And over here in Pisces, we have the north node. And the north node is fairly close to the planet Saturn, which is about our responsibility, and Neptune, which is about our soul journey. So Saturn and Neptune taking responsibility for your soul or spiritual journey. So this new moon is opposite the Saturn Neptune. So what I would say about that is make sure that what you want to be, what you want to manifest, takes into account your soul and the continuity of the soul, not just the physical. So not being too obsessed or focused on what the world values, but also thinking about what is of value to your soul in the long term. All right, darlings, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you perhaps do a little ritual. Writing things down is always great. It's a great way to put your ideas into form. It's the first step. Anyway, it's an indication to the universe that you're serious about this. So you might want to make a list that says something like, in the next 4 weeks, or in the next 3 months, or in the next 6 months, I will be blah, blah, blah. And then you say the things that you will be. So you might say, I'll be financially independent. I will be succeeding in my career. I will be promoted. I will be with my ideal partner. Whatever it is that you would like to reach for at this time. So now I'm going to just pull a few cards for this International Talk Like a Pirate Day. And ahoy there, me hearties. So these are some I found the other day. And if things cross my path, I like to kind of bring them into my path. So these are Atlantis cards by Diane Cooper. And I drew 2 cards. I did 2 drawings from these cards. And both times the marriage card came out. So what have we got? Has it come out again? Positivity. It was very similar. It was 2 figures standing there together. And so I couldn't see it without my glasses. So I'm going to read that to you. Positivity. What a great message. In Golden Atlantis, negative words simply did not exist, nor were there words of resistance like but, never, or cannot. So nothing impeded the flow of people's lives. Their vocabulary contained only positive words and concepts, and the people were immersed in wholesome ideas and thoughts. They constantly affirmed the happiness and contentment of the moment. Because of this, under spiritual law, they could only attract good things into their lives, which inevitably moved forward smoothly. So the message here is watch your thoughts, words and beliefs. Eliminate everything negative, including words of gossip, doubt or fear. Decide on your personal goal and your vision for your community and the world. Then focus wholeheartedly on it. Your life must inevitably accelerate, so expect to move forward now. Success awaits you. Well, we couldn't have a more perfect card than that for the new moon in Virgo. So there it is, positivity. Wonderful. Now, I've just got a couple more. I'm going to ask the Mother Mary Oracle to give us a card for this new moon in Virgo. And I'll just pull one out there. Tenderness. I am both gentle and powerful. So that's a beautiful card as well. Very feminine quality, the tenderness, although men can be tender as well, of course. And we have watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. Matthew 26:41. And that's from the loving words of Jesus. And I'm about at the 10-minute mark, so I'll stop now, darlings. Follow for more. If you like to give a like, and if you think someone else might benefit, give it a share. Happy Talk Like a Pirates Day, me hearties.